Hey guys, welcome to, part 5, I think, of the Fire Spline series. So what we're going to be going over today is we're going to create another, I'm still calling it damage over time, but its effect is different. So what it is it's another element on the table that interacts with the fire, and when it comes in contact with it, it deletes the fire off the spline. So basically functioning like water. Um, that's primarily what we're going to be working on. We're going to set up some of the groundwork for getting it to work in tandem with the player as well. Um, but primarily, we're going to be going over this. So let's go ahead and get into it. To start with, let's go ahead and we're going to need to create a new actor. This is going to function like our water. So I'm just going to name it BP underscore water. I'm going to open up the enum here. I'm going to add, so this would be water. It would function the same as like drenched. So I'm going to actually name it drenched. Might even add something like this here. So drenched with water on the off chance you have multiple different elements that can do it. We'll go to the struct. So yeah, okay, so we're good there. Go ahead and close that again. And then let's go to the damage over time table. Gonna go ahead and add one more. This isn't technically damage per se. So we'll do drenched. And then we'll name it exactly the same. So drenched water. We'll change the category here. For ticks, let's actually make this one kind of high. Let's say you get covered in water, you're going to stay covered in water for a while. So we'll do let's do like 50. And then it does 0 damage. It's good for now. Close this. Go ahead and save. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up the water here. I'm gonna just add in a cube. Gonna make it it's probably about the right size, but let's go ahead and change the material here. Just so we know exactly what it is. I don't like that one. I don't know if it really matters. Oh, that's disconcerting. How about that? Nope. Never mind. We're going back to the other one. Or maybe this one. What's this one? Oh yeah, this will look fine. I'll save that. We're going to go to class settings. We're going to add the BPI DOT to this. Save. And then this is probably a good time to go ahead and add elements to certain things. So a dedicated variable for the enums to show what element things are. So for this, let's go ahead and add that in. So we've got our enum dot DOT category. So self damage over time category using renum. So this is water. Okay. And then what we want it to do is we want it to do something similar to the fire spline, so that when it overlaps something, it checks what it is, and then it sends itself to that. So in our case for the player, let's do let's actually change this collision. We'll do a custom collision enabled world dynamic. Variant physical. Do block. We'll do block world static and overlap all of these. I think this means the player will be able to go through it in this one. So let's go ahead and pull it out and double check. I just want to make it so the player can walk through it. Oh, jeez. You good? Okay. Okay, so that messes with our camera a bit, but it does work. Lower it a bit. Try not to mess our camera up too much. Okay, good. So this is functioning. Another thing we're gonna need... Well, actually, let's finish setting up the this. So on collision, overlap, other actor, it's interface, does implement interface, DOT, and if that's true, I don't know how to do that, branch, and if that's true, then we're going to message, so DOT active message, that category is going to be drench. I'm actually going to pull this out and plug that in right there. And we'll do the same logic as before. I'm using the cube itself as the collision this time, so we don't need to do any of that other complicated stuff. This. And then this one will be -1. Okay. Active cube. We got that good. Basically just setting up exactly the same as the fire one because it's doing the exact same thing as the fire one. Okay, so that should be good. The one thing I want to do first is let's go to the fire spline and under the event graph here, interface DOT active. So let's say water overlaps fire. We want to try and put out the fire in that area. So DOT category counter. Let's see if DOT active, if it comes in, if it is water, So if it's any of the other elements, like, we don't necessarily want the fire to be put out. Oh, wait. Do equal enum. So if it's water, do a branch. We won't need to do a counter for this one. Due to active. We want to get the exact fire and collision that it comes in contact with, because we don't want it to put out the entire spline. So it might be better to do a reverse of this, actually, so that the fire interacts with the water, because our spline is constructed, it's not set, and the water doesn't have a very good way to tell what it's interacting with. Unless we do the overlapped component itself. And we could send that to the actor. So let's see. Okay, I think a good thing to do here is we're going to add something to DOT active just for element versus element setups. So in here, we've got category counter. We're going to go ahead and add a thing to object. We want just an actor component. I think that one up there will work. We'll try it. Component reference. Let's see. No. Component object reference versus component reference structure. Let's check again. There we go. Primitive component object reference. Overlapped components. Okay. Back to water. Okay. So when this goes to the player character, we can pretty much ignore this. But for this, we'll send it to fire. I don't think we need on end overlap. Okay. Fire spline, so we've got that now. What we want to do is we've got the collisions array. Oh, jeez. We've got the collisions array and the previous points array. And we can use this. We can delete the collision. We need to find a way to get the fire. We've got the array, but we need a way to pinpoint it. Now they should be in the same spot within the loop. So what I can try to do here is we're probably going to need to loop in order to get the correct collision. But once we have the collision, we can use the get node. And we can use the index from the collision to delete the fire effect at the same time. So let's go ahead and try that. We'll see. Reroute. We'll do for loop. And then what we're looking for is the equal component. I'm gonna swap these real quick. We want the equal component. And then if we get the equal component, we've got two options here. We can either disable it or destroy it. I'm going to choose do this is too high. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. And then we want to go ahead and do destroy. Get the index. We'll destroy. Actually, can we set both these up? Yeah, we can. Okay. So we can destroy both of those components. Oh, you know what? We should use a for loop with break here. That way it doesn't loop through the entire array. If it comes across the correct component. So we'll just take this and this, get this here, and then we want to loop this back to break. So we'll do if you're wondering why I'm setting these up in advance, it's because the node graph does something weird if you try to do it directly sometimes, where it doesn't like, it can't tell which direction you're trying to come from. So I set up the direction in advance and then just fix the positioning. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. Not ideal, but okay. False does nothing. True, it destroys both components and then does a break and completes. So that should delete the fire if the water comes in contact with it. Go ahead and do a save here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it so the water is a physics actor. Everything. This all looks good. Go back to the cube. Simulate physics. Yes, yes. Okay. We can't really push it, so I'm just gonna kind of do this thing where I'm just gonna lift it up and then just drop it on top of the fire. I don't know if that's high enough. Where's the gravity? Okay, well, I'll give that a shot. That was kind of fast. Oh well. Yeah, it's not gonna... Okay. We're just gonna drop it from really high. Okay. I guess that could be expected. Let's do something else. Oh. Set enable gravity. We're gonna set up a delay here for 4 seconds. And then enable the gravity. And I'm gonna pull this back down. Okay. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Looks like that didn't work for some reason, so let's go ahead and figure out why. Could be a collisions issue. Handled world dynamic. Create event. It's all working. If it's equal to water, find the overlapped component. So I guess first we need to see if this is even working, because it may not be triggering. And then let's go ahead and see if this is working. Okay. So it should trigger the minute it touches the fire. Okay. That worked. That worked. And that worked. Let's go ahead and toggle one here. There goes again. Okay, so it's never hitting true. So the overlapped component and the for each loop aren't triggering. Well, the for each loop is triggering, but it's not able to find the same overlapped component as in the array. So what we can do here, I don't know why it would be, but let's see if maybe it's overlapping with the fire. Go ahead and just lift this up a bit. Go ahead and move all these over. Okay. Um, okay. And then we'll do, yeah, right. So we'll get, okay. And this. True equal this, and then destroy the other one at the same index. Okay. Let's try again. Yep, yep, yep. No. So yeah, it's still not hitting that destroy component. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off physics for this. Okay. Make sure I hooked this up right. Water, water. Okay. Maybe it's a problem with this. Other component. Okay. Oh geez, I just overlapped it. Okay. I don't want to come in contact with the brick there. Okay, continue, continue, continue. Continue, continue. Okay. I think this might actually be working right now, so I'm gonna swap these back real quick. I forgot I was still doing this way. Just swap this back around. Let's see. If I do that, can I do this? Yeah, there we go. Maybe faster. Okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead here. I'm just gonna remove these because we know it's working. Oh, that was a mistake. Toggle breakpoint. Okay. Play from here. Grab this. True. True. Oh, it does look like it deleted that fire, so I'm gonna drag it. True. True. Okay, so it is deleting the fire, but it's not removing the okay, I gotta stop this real quick. Toggle. Oh, I forgot to redrag this over. That was stupid. Okay, so there we go. So the water is now capable of putting out the fire. So that fire spline should still exist. At this point, it's just got nothing connected to it. So right here, yep, spline's still there. Just nobody's home. Yeah, and I got this. See, this is for... Yeah, okay, so it tried to destroy a component that it says doesn't exist. So what we can do, if I had to guess, it could have been either one since we're checking both. We can do an it's valid, check, destroy. It might actually be faster just to make this two separate destroy components. So do this. I'm gonna move this actually like over here for a second. So if it is valid, you do that up here, and then it comes to here. If it's not valid, then it skips it, goes to here, and then we'll pull a new one out, destroy component. This one will be here. So we got this one. I'm just going to reroute this a little bit so it's not as confusing. This here and here. So we got this one going here and here. And then we've got this fire effects one going to here and here. And then pull this out. And is valid going here. And this one also going here. Ugh, so dirty. Let me try. that. So that should get all the proper... I don't like the way that looks. Just gonna reroute it again. And then we'll plug the completed into the return, and we'll plug false into return. Technically, I guess you don't have to do that. Okay, not the prettiest, but hopefully straightforward enough. Yeah. We are keeping end component because we are going to use this for the player when they overlap water. That should solve our warnings though. And play from here again. Do F8. Pull this out. There you go. Just go ahead and knock all this out. See if we get any warnings on it. Okay, no warnings. So that is water capable of putting out the fire. It's another element for us. If you want the fire to come back, like naturally regrow or respread, there are ways to do it. It's not really, I don't know if the spline is necessarily the best route for something like that. Typically a different system would probably do this better. But you could use the previous points array since we save all the locations for the collisions and everything. We could use the previous points array to try and double check the fire spline and respread the fire at maybe like certain intervals. But I'm probably not going to do that for this one. That's kind of a different thing. I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. The next episode, I think we're going to go over the last thing, which is taking the fire and the water and having the player take damage while they're on fire, and then if they go into the water, it gives them the drenched status, and it will stop the fire ticks from occurring. And if they are already drenched, then they will not start taking fire damage in the first place. Until the drenched status goes away. So we'll go ahead and cover that on the next one. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.